And welcome to the Aaron Katzman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katzman, to speak about your life, your money, and your investments. And as always, we're coming to you from the spiritual and soon to be financial capital of the world, Jerusalem, Israel. If you like this content, please hit the like button below. If you've not yet done so, please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and to the podcast. And if you think somebody might find this of interest, why don't you go ahead and hit the share button and you can share it with them as well. So right now we've got the all clear. Right there, we should be able to get through the big show without any Iranian hostilities, any flying projectiles, otherwise known as missiles, coming our way. So we'll try. Okay, I'll try and make it brief and quick, as I want to do. Don't fall into the Instagram retirement trap, huh? What are you talking about? We spend our lives, at least our adult lives, saving. We should be at least. Saving for the future, saving for retirement, right? We pay down our houses, we pay off our mortgages, we put a little bit away in savings into retirement plans every month or annually. You know, we'll get Social Security, or here in Israel, get Bituach Leumi, right? We tend at some point to wake up. Some people do it in their 30s, 40s. Other people do it in their 50s or late 50s or even early 60s, and they wake up and they realize at some point they're not going to work forever and that they have to retire, and they spend time. And a lot of what I do, we do a lot of planning also, and planning for people's retirements. I don't know about you, okay, but I did the crazy thing with social media is, what you think about something and all of a sudden all of your reels and all of your feed is now this thing. So I was talking about, I maybe searched something even about retirement, and I don't even know, travel or something like that. Boy, was that a mistake. Okay. My social media has been full of how to, live in luxury during retirement, how to travel, how to save money traveling in retirement. Basically, everything, all these things that I'm seeing now is how you can have like this glamorous, quote unquote, retirement. Now, that could be good if you've got enough money for it. If you don't have enough money for it, right, you've been saving your whole life, or whenever you started saving, right, but you've been planning for retirement and you have what you have, and now all of a sudden, social media is telling you, well, you should have what you have plus, because you're not, you don't know what a good retirement is. We'll tell you what a good retirement is. And it's really funny because it's just sort of transitioning from the work phase into the retirement phase. It's something I speak about all the time, right? Keeping up with the Joneses. Just because your friends are posting pictures of ski trips in the French Alps, or fishing trips in Costa Rica, or I don't know, take your pick. I have no idea. Some luxurious things that people are doing, fancy meals and fancy cars and the whole deal, doesn't mean that if you can't afford it, that's what you should do. You have to have, and it's very, very difficult, right? It's easy for me to sit here and pontificate, as I want to do, because I'm great at pontificating. It's another thing for you to put it into practice, for me to put it into practice, because we all know what we should do. But when there's that social pressure coming from the outside, and it might not just be from our friends, it might be from our children's friends, which can be even more complicated, because, you got to tell your kids no when all their friends are off doing the skiing thing or whatever it is. It becomes a lot more complicated. But just how we have to have that same discipline, not to get caught up, in social media pictures, what the other person is doing. They must have the most unbelievable life because they're posting pictures of themselves on a Tanzanian safari. Their life must just be unbelievable. I remember I've said this 100 times growing up. There was a commercial for MasterCard International, and it was this guy who worked. He was traveling, got to New York City, and then at night he went out, right? He put on his tux, and he had, his beautiful wife that he was holding on to her wrist or whatever, holding onto her arm in arm, locked arms. And they went to see the Rockettes. And then he paid for his tickets. He flashed his MasterCard International. He even had a scarf, like a scarf. I guess people do that, but not me, right? That was his look, right? The tux, the long coat, the cool scarf, beautiful woman, the Rockettes, and then probably dinner. And that was like the epitome of life. You work hard, and then you play hard, and you enjoy yourself, and everything's fantastic. That was the first foray into social media. So today it's the same thing, but it's your friends who are going out to fancy dinners or they're comped dinners because they're social influencers, whatever that even is. Apparently that's become a profession. I don't know. Or they are, the aforementioned Tanzanian safari or skiing or whatever it is. And you're like, oh my God, I wish we could have that life. They must be so happy. They must be so happy. The fact is, they're probably not so happy. For all you know, they don't even have the money to pay for it and they're in over their heads in debt. But just keep in mind, that's not what buys the Tanzanian safari doesn't buy happiness, doesn't buy family, unity, harmony, happiness. Same thing, just transition that into retirement. At least when you're younger, you can potentially, pay for these things. So you're still working. When you retire, it is what it is. Whatever you've managed to accumulate, that's what you have. So you can't get caught up in these reels or in these, pics that people are, posting about, have a great retirement traveling for half price or whatever. Move to Panama, travel the world, eat five-star hotels, fly business for $5,000 a year. Okay, first of all, that's not true. Okay, but even if it was true, let's say it costs $100,000 a year and you can't afford it, don't do it. It's not that you shouldn't spend your money. And we've spoken about it a lot, right? I've come around, right? Spend some money. Don't go crazy. Make sure you can take care of yourself, but spend money when you retire. Go for it. Enjoy yourself. I'm all for it. But don't get yourself into debt. Don't create a situation where you can't afford what it is that you want to do just because your friend is doing it or some picture of somebody who's not even real that you saw on Instagram. Okay. You saw on TikTok, probably not TikTok. You saw on some reel somewhere. Okay. Just don't get sucked in because you're going to be up the creek and you're not going to be able to go back when you're 83 or 85. Your chances are you're not going to be able to go back to work and make enough money to bail yourself out of the situation. So, you be smart, enjoy yourself in retirement, spend money in retirement, but don't get sucked into the social media game. Just like you shouldn't get sucked in when you're younger and you have a family and you see your friends doing all these cool things and you think, wow, that's the epitome of happiness. And they're the most happy people I know because they're posting pictures, right? You have no idea what's going on once they close the front door and you can't afford it and don't keep up with the Joneses. The same thing in retirement. Let it go. Do what you are able to do, what you can afford to do. I can't stress it enough because there's nobody who's going to come and bail you out. Don't think the state's going to do it. That's for sure. Okay? Take that to heart. Okay? You have been tuning in to the Aaron Katzman Show. We speak about your life, your money, and your investments. If you like this content, please hit the like button below. If you've not yet done so, please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and to the podcast. And if you think maybe somebody who's approaching retirement, or somebody who gets sucked into these things, if they may find this of interest, why don't you click the share button and share it with them as well. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll speak to you soon.